Hi, and welcome to week 4 of the West Yorkshire Spinners Hidden Treasures Crochet Along. My name is Anna Nikipirowicz, and today I will show you how to make square 4 of the crochet along called Trinket Box. You will need, as always, a 4.5mm crochet hook, scissors, tapestry needle, and of course yarn. I will be using West Yorkshire Spinners Bow Peep Pure in colours River and Blackcurrant. Let's get started. With your chosen yarn colour as your main, please make an adjustable ring. I showed you how to make an adjustable ring in video number 1, so please do check it out. Then make 3 chains. These 3 chains will count as 1 treble. I am using UK terminology. In US it will be 1 double crochet. Then we're going to make 2 more trebles into the ring itself. So yarn around the hook, into the ring. Make sure you enclose your tail as well. 3 loops on a hook, yarn around the hook through 2, and yarn around the hook through 2. Then 1 more treble. Followed by chain 2. And now what we are going to do, we're going to make 3 trebles into the adjustable ring, all the time enclosing our tail. 1, 2, and 3. And again, chain 2 and 3 more trebles. 1, 2, and 3. Followed by chain 2 and 3 more trebles. So that will be our final cluster of 3 trebles. 1, 2, and 3. And ending our repeat with chain 2. And now what we're going to have to do is grab our tail and pull tight on it to close up the opening. See, so as you can see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 4 clusters of 3 trebles. So what we're going to do is we're going to slip stitch into the top of our beginning chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3. I usually go in between, there we go, and I make sure that I grab the 2 strands. It will make the joint a lot more stable. Slip stitch to join our round. And that is our foundation round finished. So now we are ready for round number 1. So what we're going to do, we're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that counts as 1 treble and chain 1 space. We are going to miss our next stitch and work 1 treble into the following stitch. So miss this one here and work 1 treble into the next stitch. 1. And now we come to our corner chain space, and in here we're going to work 2 trebles, chain 2 and 2 trebles, all into the same corner space. So 1 treble, 2, chain 2, and 2 more trebles, all into the same space. 1 and 2. Now we are going to work crochet into the next stitch. We are going to chain 1 and miss the next stitch, so we're going to skip it and work 1 treble into the following stitch. And in a corner space, we're going to work the same as previously. 2 trebles, chain 2, 2 trebles. Chain 2, and 2 more trebles into the same space. And now 1 treble into the next stitch, chain 1, miss next stitch, and 1 treble into the following stitch. So we are creating lovely chain spaces on each side of our square. And then inner corner, 2 trebles, chain 2, and 2 more trebles into the same space. 1 treble into the next stitch, chain 1, miss the next stitch, and 1 treble into the following stitch. And now we come to our corner chain space. So again, 2 trebles, chain 2, and 2 more trebles into the same space. So that is our first round complete. And what we have to do is now slip stitch to join our round. But what we're going to do, we're going to slip stitch with our contrast color. So we slip stitching into the 3rd of our chain 4 at the beginning. So 1, 2, 3. Again, go into the center of that V, grab 2 strands of yarn, grab your contrast color, and grab your contrast color and finish off this slip stitch with your new color. It gives you a nice and neat joint. What I do, I grab the 2 yarns that I'm not using and twist them once over my brand new color. You can see that on our round 1 we have created this lovely chain spaces on the side of our square, and we of course have our corner chain spaces of our square. Don't worry if your center is a little bit stretched. At the end, when you finish your square, you will take your tail and weave in around your opening, so you will close it nicely and you won't unravel. Right, so our round number 2 starts with 1 chain. We will work 1 double crochet into the very first stitch. This is the stitch that is created out of the chains from the previous round. So make sure you work a double crochet into this one. And now we come to our first side chain space. What we will do here, we will work but into the miss stitch from the previous round. You see this stitch here, making sure that we place this treble in front of this 1 chain. So yarn around the hook, insert your hook into the miss stitch, bring your hook forward. You see, so your hook is in front of those chains. Yarn around the hook and pull it through. 3 loops on hook, yarn around the hook through 2, and yarn around the hook through 2. So your treble is lying nicely in front of this chain space. And now we are going to work 1 double crochet into the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, and 3. And we come to our corner chain space. In our corner chain space, we will work 1 double crochet, chain 2, and 1 double crochet into the corner space. And now we have to do 1 double crochet into the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, and 3. And we come to our side chain space. So as before, we're going to work 1 treble into this miss stitch here, making sure it's placed in front of this chain. So yarn around the hook, insert your hook into this miss stitch, bring it forward so it's in front of this chain 1 here, yarn around the hook and pull it through. 3 loops on hook, yarn around the hook through 2, and yarn around the hook through 2. And again, you see, our treble is placed nicely in front of this chain 1 space. 1 double crochet into the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. and then corner space, 1 double crochet, chain 2 and 1 double crochet. Another side, 1 double crochet into the next 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and again 1 treble into the missed stitch from round below. Oopsie daisy, there we go. See, so it's placed nicely in front of the chain, and then 1 double crochet into the next 3 stitches, 1, 2 and 3. Corner space, 1 double crochet, chain 2 and 1 double crochet, and we come to our final side. So again, 1 double crochet into the next 3 stitches, 1, 2 and 3, 1 treble into the missed stitch, and 1 double crochet into the next 3 stitches. Corner space, 1 double crochet, chain 2, 1 double crochet, and now we've got 2 stitches left, so 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches, and our round is finished. All we have to do is slip stitch to our first double crochet, making sure that we slip stitch with our main color, because that's what we will be using on our next round. After this round, we should have altogether 36 stitches, 9 stitches on each side. So we're going to start round number 3 with chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and as before, it counts as 1 treble and chain 1 space. Our very first stitch is already occupied with the chain 4, which counts as 1 treble and chain 1 space, and we're going to miss the next stitch. And then we're going to work 1 treble into the following stitch. Chain 1, miss the next stitch, and 1 treble into the following stitch. Then we're going to chain 1, miss the next stitch, and 2 treble, chain 2, 2 treble into our next corner chain space. So 1, 2, chain 2, and 2 more treble into that space. Now we're going to chain 1, we're going to miss the next stitch, 1 treble into the following stitch. Chain 1 again, miss next stitch, 1 treble into the following stitch. Chain 1, miss next stitch, 1 treble into the following stitch. Chain 1, miss next stitch, 1 treble into the following stitch, chain 1 again, miss the next stitch, and then work 2 trebles, chain 2 into your corner chain space. So now we have created 5 chain spaces on the side of our square. Repeat what we have done on this side on the 2 other sides, and I will meet you when you complete your last corner chain space. So now that you have completed your 4th corner chain space, we're almost at the end. We're going to chain 1, miss the next stitch, work 1 treble into the following stitch, chain 1 again, and now we are at the end. And what we're going to do, we're going to slip stitch into the 3rd of our chain 4 from the beginning. So 1, 2, 3, Again, in the middle of our chain, and we're going to slip stitch it with our main color. There we go. So now at this stage, each side of our square should have 5 chain spaces. And now we are ready for round number 4, which starts with chain 1, 1 double crochet into the very first stitch. So this is the chain which we have slip stitch into. And now we are going to work another treble into the missed stitch from round below. So as before, yarn around the hook, insert your hook into the stitch of the missed stitch, bring it forward, yarn around the hook and pull it through, 3 loops on hook, yarn around the hook through 2, yarn around the hook through 2. You see, the treble has to be in front of this 1 chain space. Now we are going to work 1 double crochet into the next stitch, and again treble into the missed stitch here. Treble, bring it forward, and work your treble as normal. 1, 2, and 1 double crochet into the following stitch. See? Creates a really lovely effect. So now again, 1 treble into the missed stitch, making sure that this treble comes in front of this chain 1, and 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches. And now we come to our corner chain space, in which you work 1 double crochet, chain 2, and 1 more double crochet. And now we are ready for our next side. So again, 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches, 1 treble into the missed stitch from round below, one double crochet into the next stitch, followed by a treble into the missed stitch. You continue that all the way until you reach the next corner chain space. Obviously, before you reach that, you've got 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches. Here we go. You see, and then we come to our 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches, and we come to our corner chain space. 1 double crochet, chain 2, and 1 double crochet into that space. Now you have to repeat this, the same thing all the way around, and I will meet you back here when you have completed your last corner chain space. So when you work your last corner space, all we have to do is work 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches, 2, 1 treble into the missed stitch, 1 double crochet into the next stitch, and 1 more treble into the missed stitch here, making sure that it comes nicely in front of the chains. And now we are ready to slip stitch to join our round. So we slip stitch to our first double crochet, and we will finish off our slip stitch with our main collar. There we go. And now we are ready for round number 5. So at the moment we should have 60 stitches altogether, 15 stitches on each side. Okay, so to start round number 5, we again will start with chain 4, which counts as 1 treble and chain 1 space. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We miss the stitch at the base of the chain 4 because that's where the chain 4 belongs, and we miss the next stitch, and we work 1 treble into the following stitch. Again, chain 1, miss next stitch, 1 treble into the following stitch, chain 1, and again miss next stitch, 1 treble into the following stitch, chain 1, miss next stitch, 1 treble into the following stitch, and then 2 treble, chain 2, 2 treble into our corner chain space, 1, 2, chain 2, and 2 more trebles into that corner space. And now we are going to work 1 treble into the next stitch, chain 1, miss next stitch, 1 treble into the following stitch, chain 1, miss next stitch, 1 treble into the following stitch, chain 1, miss next stitch, 1 treble into the following stitch, and repeat this all the way until you reach your next corner space. Here we go. Oops. One more, and then we're going to go straight into corner chain space, because I repeat ons on 1 treble. So we work in 2 trebles, chain 2, and 2 more trebles into that corner space. So now we've created 7 chain spaces on the sides of our square. So you have to repeat that all the way along, and I will meet you back here when you have completed your 4th corner. So when you have completed your 4th chain space, all we have to do is work until the end of our round, which means we're going to work 1 treble into the next stitch, chain 1, miss next stitch, 1 treble into the following stitch, chain 1, miss next stitch, 1 treble into the following stitch, and now we are going to chain 1 and slip stitch to the 3rd of our chain 4 from the beginning. So 1, 2, 3, and slip stitch with the main collar. You can cut off your contrast now because we won't need it anymore. This is the next round, is our final round. You can just put it away, and we started with chain 1, 1 double crochet into the first stitch, which is our chain space, and again treble into the miss stitch from round below, making sure you bring it forward, 1 double crochet into the next stitch, 1 treble into the following miss stitch, 1 double crochet into the next stitch, oopsie daisy, and 1 treble into the miss stitch. See, so you do this all the way, 1 double crochet, 1 treble into the miss stitch, oopsie daisy, there we go. And now we've got 3 stitches, so 1 double crochet into the next 3 stitches, 1, 2, and 3, and we come to our corner chain space, and in our corner chain space we will work 1 double crochet, chain 2, and 1 double crochet. You see, we've got 3 stitches here, so 1 double crochet into the next 3 stitches, 1, 2, and 3. That's the one. And again, work 1 treble into every single miss stitch and 1 double crochet into every stitch until you come to your corner chain space. In corner chain space you work 1 double crochet, chain 2, 1 double crochet. So work this all the way around until you finish your 4th corner space, and I will see you back here then. So when you finish your last corner space, all we have to do is just finish the rest of the round, which is 1 double crochet into the next 3 stitches, 2, 3, 1 treble into the missed stitch, 1 double crochet, 1 treble, 1 double crochet, and we're finishing off, and we're finishing off with 1 treble. And now what we have to do is slip stitch to join our round. You can cut off the yarn now, pull the yarn through, and now you can weave in all the ends. So at the end of this round, we should have altogether 84 stitches, 21 on each single side. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed square number 4. And if you have enjoyed the video, please do like and subscribe. Thank you so much, and see you next week for square number 5.